If you're considering moving to Angier, I've put together a list of the top 10 things that I think you need to know before you make that decision. If we have not met before, my name is Matt Hyduchek and I'm a realtor here in the Angier area. If you're ready to move forward, use the link in the description to schedule a time to speak with me, and we'll get you started on the home buying journey the right way. Now, let's get started on the top 10 things that you need to know about Angier. So number 1 is Angier's prime location. So Angier is situated just about 20 miles south of Raleigh. So it gives you easy access into a major city while still being able to live in a small town. So running through the center of Angier is NC 55, and to get from downtown Angier into downtown Raleigh, the only two roads that you need to pass through are NC 55 and 401. And for most of the way, those are multi-lane roads. Very easy driving up into Raleigh. As a side note, you should know there can be and is quite a bit of traffic during rush hours around Angier. Just like you're looking, a lot of people have realized that Angier gives a nice balance to cost of living versus their commute distance. So there's a lot of commuters that flow into Angier at the end and beginning of the day. If you're considering moving to Angier, the only advice I can give you on traffic is drive the route. If you know you're looking in Angier and you know your job's going to be in, let's say, Morrisville, take a day and at 5:30, leave Morrisville and drive down to Angier and see if that's a trip you can tolerate. For some people, the traffic will be maddening, and other people, they'll hardly pay any attention to it. Number 2, Angier is a close-knit community. So although a lot of people only know Angier for what it is today, it's always been a very small town where people knew each other's names and said hi and bye to each other. That atmosphere is still very much alive today. I was actually just over at the Angier post office the other day, and as I was coming out, an older lady said hi to me and wished me a good day, and of course I did the same back to her, but it's pretty rare you find that in the larger cities. So Angier definitely still has a lot of that close-knit friendliness going on. If you're from a major city and you're moving to Angier, just be aware there may be some culture shock in a good way when you move to Angier. So number 3 is the affordable housing options around Angier. So a lot of people, just like you, have realized that they can get the same exact house in Angier that they get in Fuquay-Varina, and it's like $100,000 less. So to put that into perspective for you, the average sale price in Angier as of October was $351,000. During that same month, just over the border, a couple minutes north, the average sales price in Fuquay-Varina was $497,000. That pretty much tells the whole story there, doesn't it? Is an extra 10 minutes of driving worth upwards of $150,000 to you? Sign me up. Number 4, Angier has access to very good education. So Angier itself is served by the Harnett County School District, but North Carolina operates something called a voucher program. So you're able to take your school voucher and go to charter schools with it. And just up outside Angier, between Angier and Fuquay, there is a very well-known charter school out in this part. It's called Carolina Charter Academy. Very popular pick for people around the area, and a lot of families choose to go the charter school route instead of the public school route. Now, the other great thing about Angier is your access to higher education. So of course, up in Raleigh and the Durham area, you have access to some of the best universities on the East Coast. It's UNC, Duke, NC State, Meredith College. There's a whole bunch of them around. So just know your higher education options are not limited whatsoever out in these parts. Now, if you head in the other direction, you would wind up down at Campbell University just outside Lillington. Campbell, once again, private school, and it is very well revered. So in both directions, you have great options for higher education. Number 5 is your access to nature. So because Angier is a little more of a rural area, there's a lot more space between the buildings and houses. There's a lot more green space that you have access to. And just overall, there's a lot more natural areas around you in Angier than you'll find up in the Raleigh area. Now, one of the coolest things in Angier is their park in town, which is called Jack Marley Park. So big giant pond anchors the entire park. Walking trails, baseball courts, tennis courts, kids play areas. There's all kinds of things over there, and that park is always busy because it really is a great place to hang out. For people that are into shooting sports, heading out towards Angier may be a good option for you. So there's a couple rifle and pistol ranges in the area. There's a private one that I'm personally part of, and there is a publicly accessible skeet and trap shooting venue out towards the Angier area. I think it's officially Fuquay, but it's called Drake Landing. So if you're into shooting sports, you should definitely take a look at that. You're very close by. Number 6 is a growing job market. So with Angier being so close to not just Raleigh, but also Fayetteville, you have access to 2 major metropolitan markets. So if you work in the tech industry, you can head up into Raleigh and work for some of the largest technology companies in the world. If you're a military person, there's obviously a ton of options out towards Fort Liberty. And for everybody else, there's a ton of jobs in almost every industry. Whether you're a tradesman or an educator or a salesperson, there are jobs for just about everything around Raleigh right now. So if you're looking for some new opportunity when you move to the area, just know that your options are almost limitless. One thing to mention about Angier that's going to change over the next couple of years is their access to the I-540 Beltline. So just up north of Fuquay towards Wake Tech, they are completing a portion of the Raleigh Beltline. So what that will allow people to do is leave Fuquay and almost immediately hop onto a high-speed highway. So for a lot of people that work up in Morrisville or RTP, they're going to wind up cutting their commute time by 10, 15, 20 minutes. If you're thinking that you may be a commuter when you live in Angier, just know that your route may change over the next couple of years, and it will change to your benefit. So number 7 is a long history. A lot of people only know these towns for what they are today, but as many people know, the South was a big activity area for the Civil War, and Harnett County and Angier is no exception to that. So about 20 minutes to 30 minutes south of Angier, you can actually go and walk Civil War battlegrounds. So if you're into that sort of thing, just know there is plenty of history in the area for you to get involved in. One of the big industries of the past with Angier was tobacco. Now, the tobacco industry is still around. You still see fields of tobacco being grown during the summer, but it's just a small portion of what it was in the past. And one of those pieces that you're going to see from Angier's tobacco history are the tobacco curing barns. So as you drive around, you'll see these small square barns, usually made out of brick, sometimes made out of wood. And what they are is curing barns for the farmers' tobacco before they brought those leaves to market. A lot of them still stand today. A lot of them are being knocked down for residential development, or just old age is knocking them down, weather's taking them back. But as you drive around southern Wake County and Harnett County, you will see a ton of old tobacco barns still standing today. Now, for a lot of people that even already live in the area, if I don't point out those tobacco barns, they never even really register what they are. But now that you know what they are, when you visit, you're going to see them all over the place. Number 9 is their charming downtown. So again, Angier isn't a bar hopping or nightlife scene, but there is a very nice little downtown with restaurants and bars and town hall and beauty salons. And it's easy to park, it's easy to get in and out of town, and it's a really nice town to just take a stroll through. If you're ever around Angier, drive downtown, park off Main Street, and just go for a walk. There are parts of downtown that are still very much awaiting their revival. But as town begins to build and more people move in, I'm sure those vacant storefronts are going to start to be leased out, and we'll see some really cool local businesses start up. So number 10 is a strong sense of pride. Once a year, Angier has their crepe myrtle festival. If you don't know what a crepe myrtle is, it is a beautiful flowering tree, and the town of Angier has their claim to be the hometown of the crepe myrtle. It's even on their sign here. And once a year, because the flowers and trees are so beautiful, Angier decides to have what they call the Crepe Myrtle Festival. And for about 50 years now, they have been doing exactly that. Very popular event around the area. Definitely something you should check out if you're in town. If you decided to buy a house around the Angier area, there's a very high likelihood that you will have a crepe myrtle somewhere on your property. So there you have it, the top 10 things that I think you should know about Angier. Now, of course, there's a lot more to this town than just a list of 10 things. So if you're considering a move to the area, please use the link in the description to schedule a time to speak with me, and I'll get you well positioned to make the right decision and get a great deal on it at the same time. If you liked this video, you're definitely going to want to check out this one too. And before you go, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos that I'll be releasing.